with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And top of the morning to you. This is Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo and broadcasting on TV1. Now then, this morning, all the newspapers, most of them worth their salt anyway, are reporting on that absolutely unparliamentary behaviour yet again in Parliament, resulting in the suspension of Mr. Dinesh Gunawardene for a week, I believe. To discuss this and a bit more on corruption and good governance is attorney at law and, amongst other things, Mr. Maitri Gunratna. Good morning to you, Mr. Gunratna.
Morning for us. Thanks for inviting me once again.
Oh, good. And we're glad that you were able to brave the traffic and be here in time, early as well.
That's right.
Wonderful. Tomorrow we hope to join Babla Jayasekara who's in Kachi, and they'll be live. He's there for the festival. But in the meantime, Maitri, what about this business in Parliament yesterday? Okay, so Dinesh Gunawardene has been suspended, but what was he asking for? He was talking in support of Vimal Veeravatsa's request to sort of be recognised as another party.
That's right.
Now, is that a legitimate request? Has it got any merit in that?
I do not think it has any merit for us for the simple reason they contested under one banner.
Correct.
And having contested under one banner and having sat in Parliament for almost 1.5 years under the same banner, if all parties which group together to contest in a coalition want to do this and want separate recognition, then it's going to be difficult for the Speaker to administer the affairs in Parliament.
Right.
So therefore, I think it was justified by the Speaker not giving that opportunity. If they want, they can go and sit separately by all means.
Yes.
But there cannot be separate recognition.
Right. And what, let's say hypothetically that the Speaker agreed to the request, then what other benefits accrue?
No, the benefits, what accrue is that they then get a chance to be consulted on any issue. Then if there's a bill which comes in, they get some kind of priority to talk on that bill. They may get a little more time. Okay. So those are the advantages they try to get out of a situation like this.
I see. So they get separate time and,
that's right.
And party leader
that's right.
Roles and so on. I see. All right. So do tempers rise so much that it results in this sort of awful disregard of the rules?
Dinesh Gunawardene, of course, is an actor.
Right.
So it doesn't take much for him to lose his temper.
I see. But he's a man with a lot of experience in Parliament.
Definitely. So he's a good actor by that means itself.
Who do you think is the better actor? Is it him or is it Ranil?
Ranil is no actor at all.
Oh, really? Does he not feature?
I think Dinesh is a good actor.
Would you... Okay, I was going to ask you if Ranil is a puppet then, but... Or is he the puppeteer?
He's not a puppet. He's not a puppet.
Is he the puppeteer?
He's a bully. He's not a puppet.
Well, that's certainly true, because he goes to Parliament and does it bother you sometimes when you watch these proceedings and the almost condescending manner in which...
Yeah, I have watched him on several occasions after he became Prime Minister and during this Parliament.
Yeah.
I don't think it is becoming of the Prime Minister to act like that.
Right.
But anyway, I think...
so be it.
Yeah, so be it.
Right. But back to this business about... it's almost a regular feature. I mean, what do you think is going on? I know that your children are, of course, adults now. But what do you think goes on in much younger children who can't help but notice it because there's so much of media coverage on these matters?
No, for us what is happening is, by this type of conduct, people are slowly and surely losing faith in the democratic system in Parliament. And the other thing is, members of Parliament, or for that matter politicians, are looked at with disrespect, and I think the proper word is they have contempt.
Yeah.
They're beginning to have contempt for these people. Right? So it's a very, very sad state of affairs, because once people reject them, right, there is going to be no way that they can make a comeback. Unless your conduct and behavior is exemplary. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. And from every passing year for us, the standard is getting lower and lower.
Yes.
So how?
This is only maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago that we covered a similar situation before. And before that, there's so many incidents, not like a rarity.
No, it is not. It is not, certainly not a rarity. Here it has become, I don't know whether it is because there is so much of publicity that they want to get into the eye of the storm always to, show that they are there.
Yeah. But it's a terrible sort of example that they're setting.
Definitely.
Because children watching this thing may well think that this is the way parliamentarians behave.
Yeah, that is definitely happening. But for us, I don't know whether the media also is playing a proper role by giving coverage to this kind of thing for us, because that is what is the driving force for them to act like this.
But the counter argument to that, of course, Matthew, would be that the media, by giving them this publicity, is exposing them, and exposing, because if we don't, it'll be that we are part of a cover-up.
But for us now, we'll say, okay, if the media has done this for such a long time, right, and if they have been exposed, right, and the people are aware of it, funnily, people seem to be sending those very people back to Parliament over and over again.
Well, that's right, but the whole political system needs to be revamped, because the same people are being given nominations.
That is a different issue for us.
But the choice is given to the people are the same.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, if you're talking about the choice, or whom you're going to get into the system, I of course firmly believe there has to be a minimum qualification to run as a member of Parliament, or for that matter hold any public office.
Well, the proposed new SEC Act envisages a minimum requirement for people who serve on the boards of listed companies.
Definitely.
That's a proposal. But if that's the case, then what about Parliament?
No, so that's why precisely now we'll say if you are seeking a job opportunity in a government department, there's a minimum qualification even for a peon.
Right.
Even for a driver. I mean, they look for O-levels, oil levels, or whatever.
Yes.
Right. But the only job in the world or in Sri Lanka where you don't have any need to have any qualification is to become elected representative.
Right.
So which I feel is not all that fair, right? Because you see the conduct of these people, and I would say if there were more educated people in Parliament, right, you would get a better deal, or the people will get a better deal in this country.
I was speaking to a foreigner who's in Sri Lanka, has made an investment here, and sort of understands the culture here. And yesterday, whilst this had just gone on air, he said, I think that your country needs a dictator. Well, he said dictator, and he said, well, you just need one strong guy. He says, because obviously, look at all this business that's going in, and he says that it's bad news. And this is a foreigner who's come here and has put his money in, and, invested.
Bad signals going all over the world.
Indeed.
Yeah, I agree.
And, he said that this is not the first time, and he's quite right, of course, it's not the first time.
Definitely.
Now then, let's ask you, we found your time at the Lanka Coal Company, and then your sort of removal from there, very odd, because you had the Supreme Court virtually saying the same thing that you did, and it was your complaint, and then it was like shooting the messenger.
For us, I think, I don't know whether it was after the interview I had with you that I was fired.
There you go. Newsline's being blamed for that now.
Right. So I hope I'm not fired from the other position after this interview. But the fact of the matter is for us that the whistleblower has been shot at or has been killed.
Yeah.
And anyway, in fairness,
Yeah.
I bought after that program,
Yeah.
and you insisted that I have to bring it to the notice of the president, and
Yeah.
Stephanie will be calling me for that.
Indeed.
Which she has done.
Yeah.
And I brought it to the notice of His Excellency the President.
Yeah.
And in fairness for us, he has got the CID to investigate this whole matter.
Wonderful.
I mean, everyone is blaming the setup,
Yeah.
the government.
Yeah.
Right, but I would say the government and the president, although he's the head of the government, due to this marriage, this political marriage, there is a separation.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas when it comes to the president, if anything is brought to his notice personally, he has taken action.
Right.
Right, and in this case, I do not have much faith in this FCID and all these other places.
Yeah.
But certainly the CID, which he has handed over the file to, and got them to investigate it. And I have made my statement, partially made the statement, because it's a long statement. It takes a long time to make it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to make the balance of it next week.
Oh, so it's still going on?
It's still going. No, it's still going on.
Oh,
it's
right.
still going on. It's at the very preliminary stage.
Oh, okay.
Right, and I mean, from the looks of the person who are recording the statement, I felt that he was shocked at how matters of state are conducted. You know, his body language. I mean, he didn't speak anything, but his body language showed that he was quite shocked that this magnitude of corruption is taking place.
Now, in that time, and you see, it's lucky that you have the media like us who. We have been no holds barred. We cover and expose whatever has to be exposed, and so that's that is our job and our.
And you're doing it quite well.
Thank you. But in all this, I keep saying this. There are journalists, young people who seek a career, and I say to them, you must choose where you want to work wisely. Because if you work for an organization that has no real and robust commitment to media freedom, speech, and so on, then you aren't going to go far, because you can only go as far as the appetite of your publisher. And here in our network, of course, there is no two words about the commitment of the chairman of our group towards this matter. And it's fearless reporting. As you know, we've done it through thick and thin.
Oh, yeah.
So, but in this context, what was absolutely astonishing was that the secretary, I think, what was his name, Dr. Bhattagoda. Now, he's actually advised the cabinet that if they were to follow the sort of observations of the Supreme Court, that they may have a claim from the other party.
Yeah.
But what absolute tosh! Anybody can make a claim. Whether it will stand up in a court of law where you've broken the process is a different thing.
For us, I mean, I was there at the meeting when Dr. Bhattagoda summoned the company which he gave the contract to.
Yes.
Now, Dr. Bhattagoda is asking them, now if we don't award this tender to you, you will file a case against us, won't you?
Yeah.
And the answer is, oh, definitely yes, we will.
So
leading question.
Leading
question.
Yeah.
Then if you file a damages case against us, you will ask for compensation from us. Yes, we will. So then that is the manner in which he handled the bidder.
So it would be interesting to have followed Dr. Bhattagoda's movements in the hours and days before this, because it would be nice to see if you'd been at any training session
of advocacy.
Yeah, well, it's just a straightforward question. Why not?
Because I was an eyewitness to that incident, and he made that a base to make his cabinet paper to say that these people are going to sue the country, and the country will have to pay compensation. Now, he in that instance, the cabinet paper he submitted to the cabinet says that there will be international arbitration. There is nothing in the bid document to that effect.
Right.
Arbitration is in Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
So even at that point he misled the cabinet.
Right.
And which is who is the arbitrator in Sri Lanka who is going to give a decision against the Supreme Court judgment for us?
Exactly.
There is no way.
Yeah.
And most of the time arbitrators are either retired Supreme Court judges, Court of Appeal judges, or lawyers of high eminence. Now when the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice, highly respected Chief Justice who retired recently, Chief Justice Sripaval, when he had given such a dynamic judgment, who is the arbitrator who is going to upset that? So this is the magnitude of the misdirection done by this Dr. Bhattagoda. I mean, I don't know who gave his doctorate. I mean, although he calls him a doctorate, I don't know whether it's like Dr. Mervyn Silva's doctorate.
Indeed. Very, very. But actually, it is astonishing that such sort of blatant misinformation is being engaged in. I'm sure that they wouldn't do this if it was their money at stake.
No way. Not only that, for us now, I subsequently got another case where they went for emergency power purchase. They conned the figures with regard to hydropower.
Right.
Then they conned the figures with regard to how they are going to buy these generators.
Right.
They submit the cabinet paper in January. Cabinet approval is given on the 15th of January. The tender was placed on the 30th of December 2016.
Right.
So when you take the procedural irregularities these people are committing, I mean there is no other place than Bogambara or the magazine prison for these officials to be put into.
And maybe, we must all work towards that.
Definitely.
Because there would be no better example than that.
No, for us, when I was removed from chairman of Lanka Coal, I did not have any regret at all, because I knew I had acted according to my conscience, and I had the ability to come and withstand your scrutiny here. After whenever you all have invited me to come and speak on corruption.
Yes, and we do acknowledge that.
Right. I have been able to come and withstand it. I mean, there is no holds barred when you start questioning, or when you there is no sympathy. I mean, you ask the most hardest questions.
Well, that's because the public are exercising their legitimate expectations.
Definitely.
They've got up. They're watching our programs or listening to it, and they don't expect us to engage in some cover-up.
No way. And the other thing is, for us, even when we brought this president into power, we still believe that he is the only chance for good governance in this country. I must say that very categorically, because now when you spoke about this Dinesh Gunawardene and that co, now see what they are doing. The manner in which they are acting, is it strengthening this country? No. Now the president is having an issue of balancing his political camp together, right? And that is why there is blame on him, that he's delaying to act. So if these people all together get together and say, okay, we are there to do the right thing, right? Then all this type of corruption will be exposed, and the wrongdoers could be brought to book. And I'm saying it with responsibility. The corruption which has taken place under this system, this government, there is more proof. There is more proof than any other corruption which has happened previously.
And the right from the day one, when we observe the events that have taken place, right from day one, when the President Sirisena was elected and appointed, right from that moment onwards, it's been very clear that this government, the government as in the cabinet and the ministers and so on, who are running the government, that they didn't act as envisaged in a unity government. They seem to act on the basis that it is the UNP, and they seem to be sabotaging the fact, and forgotten conveniently the fact, that this is the president with the mandate.
Yeah, definitely.
It is almost like, if you go back in history, it was almost like the expectations of and the thinking of people like T.B. Langaratne and so on, when they decided that the best person to put forward to replace the assassinated Prime Minister was to put his widow, Mrs. Bandaranaike. And they presumed that because this lady was not a politician, but was quite literally in the kitchen, that they could control. But they soon found out that they couldn't control her. And this is what happened. And I think perhaps the UNP thought that they could have a figurehead president.
No way. They thought.
They thought.
They thought.
They obviously.
But
they got it wrong.
They got it wrong. They got it wrong. Now, for instance, for us, now you take the central bank issue.
Yeah.
Right. President appointed Mr. Kumaraswamy as the governor.
Yeah.
Now, after that appointment, there is no issue with regard to the central bank.
It's wonderful that
right.
Dr. Kumaraswamy.
So whatever decisions he has taken, although it has taken a little time.
But that's because I believe that the president is, he's a man of his word. He's said, look, you can run it, so let's watch. So he's given them a chance. He's now got fed up.
Has to get fed up when you see this kind of transgressions of whatever we have promised to the people.
And at the end of the day, they all then will refer it back to him.
Definitely.
And hold him responsible.
Definitely. No, and I feel when it comes to him, the decision he takes for us is perfect.
Yeah.
The appointment, if he makes some appointment, that appointment has been perfect.
And 2 court reports and now this commission of inquiry has established beyond most doubt that Mr. Mahendran didn't act as one would expect a governor of the central bank to do. There is nothing legally wrong in him going to the dealing room. There's nothing in the Penal Code or the Monetary Law Act or anything that precludes him.
It's ethics, no, for us.
Yes, well,
it's ethics,
you can't have legislation to control ethics.
Ethics, right? So, he pretends to be a gentleman from,
Yes, but Professor Rajiv Vijayasinghe on our program the other day said that it's a shame to his university as well.
And his school.
And his school, for heaven's sake. And yet, there is no statement that I can remember that has come from the Prime Minister's office to explain quite what Mahendran is doing in the corridors of power.
Yeah, but how can they do it? Because it is the Prime Minister who appointed this gentleman to that place. I don't know whether I'm using the proper word by calling him a gentleman, but Mr. Mahendran, it is the Prime Minister who appointed him. And for us, if you remember, previously he was heading the BOI.
Indeed.
Right? And even during that time, his conduct was highly questionable.
Indeed.
Right? Highly questionable. So having had an experience and a past record like that, how does one bring a person of that nature to head the Central Bank of Sri Lanka? To be the governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka? This is crazy, for us. This is crazy. So how can the Prime Minister who appointed him, who is still standing by him, who is still standing by him?
Well, right? I think one has to, one doesn't have to terminate friendships.
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
But when it comes to business, business is business.
And this is the business of governing the country.
Absolutely.
It is a business of governing the country. So you cannot afford to show the public that you're associating and you're nurturing, right, people of this caliber.
Don't they have any shame?
I don't think.
These people are painting a picture of virtue, of high virtue. And
there is no shame for us. I feel that absolutely no shame. They are just, I don't know what is driving the Prime Minister to do this type of thing. I don't know what is driving.
It is a question. I'm not sure that the Prime Minister understands this bit, but it's a question that is on everybody's mind. You get into a tuk or you stand for a bus or you're on a train, and then all say that they don't know what's going on. Why is he being so protective.
That's the word.
You know, that is actually the word.
Yeah.
I mean, even the people who maintain the maintenance crew and the cleaning crew in the Treasury Secretariat, for example, they all have passes.
Yeah.
And they're security cleared. So, but they have a reason for getting that thing.
Definitely.
So, why and on what basis is Mr. Mahendran there? Nobody is explaining this.
Yes.
The Ministry of Finance has sent a statement saying that he's not employed.
Yeah.
But then, what's he doing there?
Yeah.
Is he lost? Is he stuck in there? Is he like a little lost lamb inside there? What's he doing there? Is he like one of these community dogs? That was a nice word, because the dog trainer who came on our program said there's nothing called stray dogs. They're community dogs, because they guard that little part.
That's right.
Right, so, you know, is it like one of these animals who sort of got lost there and can't find its way out? What do you think's going on? I'm sure, I mean, you're a lawyer, and I'm sure your friends in the legal fraternity must also be wondering what on earth is happening.
For us, I am unable to go to even a courthouse. I have to answer so many questions with regard to what is going on, and these very same questions asked. I mean, the central bank is supposed to be a high security zone, and all delicate information is there. How does a person like this get into the central bank? How do you answer that question?
Indeed. I mean, at the end of the day, if it would be fair comment to observe that in spite of all the electoral defeats that Mr. Wickremesinghe has had, and he's been the leader of the United National Party, come what may, thanks to all the sort of little amendments made to the constitution of the UNP and the appointments to the working committee of his men, and I suppose women, they have managed to somehow, you know, he's been there. But with this matter at the bond of the central bank, the people are actually sitting up and taking note that it can only mean one thing. And the question then should be posed as to what is the level of involvement of the Prime Minister in this matter?
I think the involvement of the Prime Minister is deep. Otherwise there is no need, and we have worked under him for a long time, right? He is not a person who goes out to protect someone in a hurry, right? But the manner in which...
But he brings a lot of people whom he then sort of affords protection. It's like the CEO of the ICTA, this Muthunden Kanage. Now, there is a letter which we've exposed. It says that the President has agreed to appoint him as a director, but he ends up as the CEO, right?
Yeah.
And there is... the difference between that matter and the bond matter is that the bond matter the media found out after the event.
Right.
And then all that has happened is that the delays on the part of the Prime Minister to investigate this thing properly is that the bond has become entrenched in the system.
Definitely.
And it has allowed these companies that benefited from it to make even more money at the expense of the public. And the difference with this ICTA matter is that we've stumbled upon this, and we firmly believe that there is wrongdoing prior to a valuable asset being given away to an off-the-shelf company. That's the bottom line.
That's right.
All these people, all these companies all over the world, they sell the frequencies at millions and billions of dollars to billion-dollar plus companies. And in Sri Lanka, they sign an MOU which will eventually lead, if we haven't stepped in to check on it, will eventually lead to the awarding of this selling off the spectrum to an off-the-shelf company. Why should Sri Lanka and its people suffer like that?
Definitely. No, and the other thing is, for us now we'll say something is put to the cabinet for a cabinet decision. If it is economic in nature, what happens is it finds its way to the cabinet economic subcommittee. Right, and that subcommittee, I mean, there is no direct control of the cabinet, and there are people like Bhaskar Lingam and various guys sitting on those committees. So they take the decision. A decision which should be taken by the cabinet is taken by the cabinet subcommittee, and then what happens is it comes back to the cabinet and the cabinet ratifies it.
Right.
Now that I can't see how
This
that
is,
becomes
this is being inventive at its best.
right?
To
circumvent the cabinet, and for us, you take any of these corrupt deals, it has gone to the cabinet subcommittee. The cabinet subcommittee has approved it, and it has come here, and that has brought a hell of a lot of embarrassment to the government, right? So this is, as you say, invention at its best.
It is actually, and actually, if you think of these airwaves, the frequencies as the highways, because they're highways of information and so on.
Definitely.
In that case, this is complete highway robbery.
Oh, definitely.
And we are very pleased and proud the fact that we've done this thing before it can be monetized. And no matter what goes on in social media, we know, and it'd be interesting to know where on earth the debris of the Google Loon balloon is. And now if Mr. Kanage can answer that with any sense, we'll be very pleased.
Being the Director General.
Well, being the CEO of ICTA. We'd like to know that, actually. So on that note, Maitri Guratna, it's been a great pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And I hope that your tea, that special tea that you guys make and cut it off with your scissors, I hope that that's doing well.
Yeah, definitely.
And helping Sri Lanka in the exports, because we need foreign exchange.
Very much. We are, as private people, we are contributing a lot to the by foreign exchange.
Well, you're doing something that the people at the Ministry of Finance and all that are not doing. On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.
And that's it from Newsline. Sorry we've overrun a little bit, but do have a great day ahead, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow morning, helping you stay connected. That's it then.
Thank you.
God bless.